I walk off from the stall and find a seat, carefully cradling the steaming wooden bowl in both hands. Compared to the dumplings from before, this is quite nice. Little cool compared to what it probably should be, perhaps, but the flavor is enough to cover for that reasonably well. As I drink, I can't help but feel somewhat guilty for not being as involved in the festival as the others. It can't really be helped, considering I was dropped into the school only a week ago, but it still weighs heavily on my mind. That and the fact that a few students don't really seem to be enjoying the festival as much as the visitors. Eventually I finish my bowl and leave for the store to drop it off. Considering that there seems to be no line at all, I take my time walking up. It seems the teacher's mission paid off. There are now over a dozen students helping, and much of their unpacking has been done. Despite most of them seeming quite relaxed as they work, Lily still appears to be somewhat stressed. Lily doesn't look impressed at all, and I can't really blame her. On top of her issue with her stall, she still seems to be worried about Hanako. Can't really help her with the former, so I guess the only way I can help is by trying to take her mind off our shy mutual friend. Placing the bowl back on the counter, I call out to Lily. Hey Lily, don't worry about Hanako. I go find her and hang out with her, okay? I can see Lily's relief plainly written across her face. Thanks, Iso. And if you see anyone from my class, can you tell them to come back here, please? Will do. Have a good one, and make sure you take a break, okay? I will if I can. See you later, Iso. I leave Lily in the stall and head out in search of Hanako. In a way I feel bad for leaving her with the crowds, but even though she was clearly under pressure, I can't help but think that she is enjoying herself. The halls are packed with swaying crowds meandering throughout the festival. If there's one thing I know about Hanako, it's that she's not going to be anywhere near this. And with the students showing their friends and family their dorms, I doubt she'll be there either. Following blind intuition, I move against the grain of the crowd. Thankfully, this crowd seems to be slightly less festive than your usual festival crowd. I assume this is out of consideration for the student body. As I force my way through the masses, it doesn't take long for them to thin down into nothingness. Oh, quiet. This is not surprising, since I'm standing before the library. Even though most eager of students don't bother to show anyone the section of the school. As I enter the library, the noise of the festival fades into a dull background noise, and soon I'm in the reading area at the rear of the room. Behind one of the partitioned desks, I see the top of a head with straight dark hair catching my eye. Hey Hanako, I had a feeling I'd find you here. The head jumps a little in shock. Oh, she looks so startled. Oh god, he's going to kill me. Before slowly peeping over the partition. So... Hey, Lily's pretty busy. She sent me to find you. Oh, do you want to sit down? Actually, I'm feeling a little hungry. Would you like to get something to eat from one of the stands? I bought some food, so... I'm a little bit too excited, that's why I can't get her voice straight. I shouldn't be surprised, but it was worth a try. Expecting her to go outside today was a long shot. How about we eat in the tea room? I passed by it on the way here, and no one was around. We can make some food there, and it'll be a little more comfortable. What do you say? Sure, let's go. Hanako closes her book and puts it away with deliberate, practiced movements. Good to go? Yeah. We walked side by side from the library to the tea room. As expected, there's barely a soul around. If it weren't for the murmurs through the walls, you wouldn't tell that there was a huge festival going on outside. Hanako carries her bag in both hands and focuses on just the floor ahead of her. Every now and again she seems to break her pace a little and steps in slightly shorter paces. The first time it happened, I gave it no mind, but I soon noticed that she does it on a regular basis. Are you alright? She stops dead in her tracks. What? I don't know, it looked like you were tripping or something. A pink blush rises into her cheeks as her gaze returns to the floor. It's nothing. You know, when you say nothing like that, people are inspired to ask further questions. For a second, I don't think she's going to answer. Prepared to leave it be, I almost set off walking again when... It's a game. Game? Do you see the floor here? What a bizarre question. The floor looks just like any other floor, covered in those tiles made from squares of linoleum. Nothing noteworthy. Well, yes, what about it? Sometimes, when there's no one around, I only step on the darker ones. I can't see any tiles here, so they maybe should have changed the picture to make this sense. Hanako's voice trails off as her explanation continues, until I can barely hear her voice over the roaring silence of the empty hall. Darker ones? Shuffling her feet, Hanako points the toe of her shoe at a little tile that is barely a shade darker than the others. Like these ones. Oh, right. So these ones are no good? I point out a nearby tile. Yeah, something like that. Oh, I see. Do you play this game a lot? Hanako shakes her head. Just when the halls are empty? She nods. Oh, this boost looks so cute. Do you play this game a lot? Just when the halls are empty? No point in stopping. I'm beginning to get really hungry. She nods again, but this time with a little more enthusiasm. Well then, let's go. We set off down the hall, and this time I noticed that Hanako is paying a little less attention to the floor. I wonder just how lonely does someone have to be to come up with a game like that. Oh, you have no idea how easy it is to get lonely in a crowd of people. But before I realize what I'm doing, I find myself trying to aim each step so it lands on the correct tiles. The noise of the festival is slightly louder inside the tea room, but the breeze coming through the open window makes it worth it. Without thinking, I walk to the windowsill and inhale deeply. I sometimes forget how clean the air is here compared to back home. Would you like some tea? That would be great, thanks! It occurs to me that this is the first time I've been alone with Hanako without her trying to be somewhere else. Turning from the window, I watch as she makes a simple pot of tea and arranges some sandwiches onto a plate. I've seen her do this before a number of times, but this time she seems slightly different. It's like she's calm. Eventually, she places a small tray on the table and pours 2 cups of tea. The fresh scent of brewed tea mingles with the breeze, and for a second I feel like I'm the only one in the world. I think I know why you like this room now. Don't know what you mean. Well, there are quite a few people out there, but in here it's like another world. You can't pretend that there's no one around for miles. You are right. It's like the world has forgotten this womb. And because of that, you can forget about the outside. That would be appealing in some cases. As far as I can tell, conventional bullying doesn't exist in this school. But then again, I haven't seen a single person talk to Hanako besides Lily. If you are ignored by the world, a place where you can forget its existence would hold a special appeal. That's a good point. It's like the womb gives you some kind of complete freedom. Yeah. Say, do you play chess? Chess? I've played it a bit, I guess. I take it you've played before? A little. Without saying anything more, Hanako moves to one of the cupboards and digs out a small chess set. Do you want? Sure, why not? I cut her off, but she doesn't seem to mind it. We arrange the pieces, and before long, we are sending pawns charging to their inevitable fates. I take my time and intently examine each move and its consequences, nostalgia for the game taking second place to the matters at hand. For a time, the game is a lengthy battle of attrition, but I spot an opening and tear a line in her defense. A few moves later, her king is cornered by several of my pieces. Checkmate! You're not bad at this, are you? An honest appraisal. Her technique is pretty good, but several times I was able to exploit her lack of prediction. I pick up a piece and examine it. It looks relatively new, yet worn for its age. I guess not. Does Lily play? The absence of Hanako's answer causes me to think about my question. How is she supposed to play chess? You have to see the thing always. Unless you have a really good memory, you couldn't knew where the things are staying all the time. Come on. A bit. She plays? This is the first time I've placed... This is the first time I've played against someone other than her, or... She cuts herself off abruptly, leaving the answer hanging in the air. Someone she knew before coming to Yamaku, maybe. Well then, I'm honored to have played against you. Can we play again? She asked as if she was asking me to cut off my own hands. The spirit of competition's gotten into her? Sure, though don't expect me to go easy on you this time. Not that I was before, mind. She seems to appreciate the competitive tone. The same here. She's so cute, I can't believe it. As we are setting up the pieces, there's a noise at the door. Good afternoon. Lily! Oh, hey there, Lily. Are you finished? You both are here? Wonderful. At any rate, our teacher managed to round up some extra help, so I was able to leave. Have you been here since you left? Pretty much. We've just been playing a bit of chess. Oh, would you like a cup of tea? Actually, I think it may be a good idea to go outside for a little while. The instant drop in Hanako's face shows her objection to this plan, even though she says nothing. I feel strangely compelled to voice what is plainly in view of her face, but Lily can't see. I kinda think that we should just stay here. Really? It's so crowded here that I was thinking we should leave the school and head for the local tea house. You mean the Shanghai? Of course, with everyone at the festival, it should be practically empty. Tea house? Oh, that's right. You probably don't know of it. There's a tea house not far from here, which we got to every so often. Sounds like a plan. Hanako, what do you think? Get started. You ask me? Oh, you really care? Sorry, I'm totally fell off of it. I'm just so excited that this is an entirely new chapter. This was hidden inside the game all along, and I know I was hinted to it, but I just resisted, and I don't know why. Maybe I was afraid that I just get soaked up into this way too long. Hanako jumps a little at being forced into the conversation, but at least she seems less distraught than before. If it's a Shanghai, I think it'll be nice. Well, then it's settled. Let's be on our way. Hanako and I rise from the table and our preempted chess game. Before I can do anything, Hanako has poured the pieces into a small container and placed the board away. Looks like we're ready now. Please, lead on. Hanako moves to Lily's side and we venture onto the school's corridors. The pair leads me through a series of unfamiliar doors and we emerge on the side of the building opposite of the festival grounds. Insulated by the heavy stone of the building, the noise from the crowd has faded to a murmur. Strange, I thought that most people would be beginning to leave by now. They are probably here to view the fireworks. Fireworks? Yes, apparently the school puts on quite a show. A lot of people come from town just to watch them. Lily's decision to leave the school grounds seems to make sense now. Hanako would probably have a hard time with the whole town descending onto the school, or ascending as the case may be. For the second time since arriving at Yamaku, I find myself walking down this road with Lily. Only now that I can barely hear the incessant noise of the festival do I realize how loud it was. I can hear my ears ringing slightly in the still evening air as they recover from the day's assault on them. Hanako clings to Lily, but still manages to guide her along the road. That, and avoiding the occasional gaze from curious pedestrians, appears to completely sap her constitution. She rarely raises her focus from the ground in front of her, nor does she utter a word. Lily, on the other hand, maintains her prim and proper persona just as she does in school. It's obvious she purposely puts effort into her appearance, rather than hiding it as Hanako does. It's striking how different they are in their way of holding themselves outside of Yamaku's grounds. That said, it's obvious in both their cases that they do visibly change. Inside Yamaku, everyone is special, which negates the specialness of it. But once we venture outside the school gates, we are returned to the status of outsider and generic labels. Especially when we are still in school uniform, it's like hanging a sign around your neck, challenging people to figure out what is wrong with you. I'm surprised that so many of the students keep it on. Then again, with canes and wheelchairs common among the students, I guess it's not really that much of a giveaway. Or maybe I'm the only one that sees this as a stigma? Maybe you get used to it after a time, like any other school uniform. The tea house seems fairly standard from the outside, just an ordinary building with typical signs decorating the entrance. It looks like the type of place you'd walk by without a thought, just another generic cafe in a sea of thousands. If Hanako hadn't steered Lily into the entrance, I would have continued on down the road without ever knowing that it existed. Inside the tea house, it takes on a more traditional feel. Everything seems to have been made from the same lump of timber, from the counter and benches to the high-baked booth around the walls. But the most striking feature of the room is the lack of life. I think I can faintly hear something bubbling away in the background, but otherwise the room is silent, just like the music that vanished. Without any direction, we simply wait near the entrance, politely obeying the "please wait to be seated" sign. Is this place closed? Is this... Ugh, wow, already screwing up. Is this place closed or something? The sound of a chair falling over echoes throughout the empty room, and a head shoots up from inside a booth. I wasn't asleep, and welcome to the Shanghai! Yuko, dressed in a pastel apron and clutching a menu, rushes to greet us. Her misaligned glasses and ruffled hair cast suspicion on her previous statement. But whether she was asleep or not isn't the first question that leaps to my mind. You work here now? What happened to the library? What? Lily? Hiso? Welcome to the Shanghai! Yuko, still waking up, jerks into a violent bow, dislodging her glasses in the process. Wait! She really lost her glasses, look at that! My glasses! As I pick up her spectacles off the floor, Lily offers an explanation. Yuko works here part-time as well as the library. It's one of the reasons we like to come here. Yuko takes her glasses from my hands, shakily putting them back on. Yeah, that's right. Thanks. Shall I show you to your table? For those who wonder, I gave her a really over-the-top voice, more or less. That she's always really nervous and a little bit up at the sky. Just a little bit like Misha, but still different. It's more of a nervous than a happy loud voice, I guess. There's no one else here, so you can choose your table and order whatever you like. But there may be a delay, as I will have to make it myself. It's alright, Yuko. Just a pot of black tea and a plate of sandwiches will be fine. Right, I get right onto that. Yuko hurries off to the back of the cafe, leaving us still standing at the entrance. She pushes the swinging half doors open before realizing that she hasn't seated us. I'm sorry, please sit wherever you'd like, I'll be right back. Following her advice, I lead Lily to the nearest booth as Hanako follows. As I begin to sit next to Lily, I realize how appropriate this place is for Hanako. The high-baked booth totally separates you from the rest of the room, and it doesn't look like it gets all that many customers. It's kind of sad. All of the furnishing, from the cushions on the benches to the condiment holders, look dated, but aren't overly worn. I wonder if Lily deliberately selects places like this to take Hanako? She seems like the type that would go to length to cater to Hanako's unique predicament. So, Hiso, I didn't know you played chess. Well, not very well, but I do know how to play. I suppose the obvious question would now be, who won? Lily's innocent smile makes me hesitate. I don't really want to look like I am lauding my victory over Hanako. Hiso did? Yes, but not by much. Damn, saying that out loud makes me feel like I've done something terrible. Well done, Hiso. You've accomplished something I've only ever failed at. Thanks. I haven't played in ages, so it felt good to play again. Yes, it did. Hanako fidgets with her hair a little and looks away as she replies, but a small smile emerges. It's a little more extreme of a reaction than I expected, but still kind of cute in that Hanako way. It throws me a little off guard, and only Yuko's cataclysmic re-entry shocks me back into conversation. She looks a little bit, huh, what happened? She looks, oh god, we're dying! And she just, Are you alright there, Yuko? Do you need a hand? I'm fine. I have to do this properly. It's my job. Concentration plays across her face, while she stares at the tray in her hands, as if simply looking at its contents while hold them in place. Oh, I'm slipping my tongue way too much. This is a whole new recording, even though it was pretty... Well, there are a few hours between it, just to say that, so I have to get back into the flow. At the tray in her hands, as if simply looking at its contents will hold them in place. Oh, she's shaking! She's shaking! Sadly, this doesn't prove all that effective. The cups and saucers slowly dance around, occasionally clattering as they collide with one another. Taking great care, Yuko sets the tray down on the table, with only the sub-list of crashes. There! See? Well done. Thank you, Yuko. Yuko's head rockets downwards in her distinctive bow before answering. You're very welcome. Would you like to join us? There's something else I'd like to discuss about that recent order, if I may. Ah, that's why Lily and Yuko were discussing a pile of books when I first met Hanako. Something about Lily helping with the ballet. Ah, yes, we didn't get the chance to go through them, did we? Yuko hastily sits down next to Hanako. You see why I gave her this hasty, really anxious voice, which is still very loud and stuff like that. She does everything really, oh god, no, I'm breaking this, no, why is this happening? Oh, hello, sorry if I'm a bother, I will really help you. So that's why I came up with this. Those are one of the few voices I could set immediately since I started the playthrough. Apparently, her dedication to this job only goes as far as her concentration. Once it is broken, she suddenly loses it. I'll be in the library tomorrow afternoon if you'd like to try again. That sounds perfect. I'll meet you there after class. Lily? Oh dear, that's right. Tomorrow's Monday. How could I have forgotten? I'm starting to feel a little left out of the loop here. Then again, that's to be expected. I have been here for barely a week, so it's impossible to know everyone's schedule. Well, perhaps we could come to some other arrangement. Yuko, will you be in the library later in the week? Maybe, but this is already overdue. And there's some things I need. This might be a problem. Lily ponders for a second before discovering the answer. Yeah, the answer is here, sitting right next to you. You know, Hanako, he's all... Yeah, I can help. Lily likes me a little bit, I guess. I wonder, might we be able to enlist the help of another if need be? To do what? You lost me quite some time ago. Being volunteered for something without even having the slightest idea what is going on isn't really my thing. And here I thought I had finally escaped the clutches of the student council and their repeated attempts to recruit me. Oh, of course. The other day I was helping Yuko sort the new ballet books in the library. Oh yeah, the ballet books. Those are the books for blind people to read with the, you know, the things you can read with your hand. But Hanako and I usually go shopping on Monday afternoons. It's quieter on that day than on weekends. Last week we couldn't go because I was busy with the festival. I managed to slip away later in the week, but Hanako couldn't make it. Well, since I can't read Brûlé, I'm assuming you'd like me to go shopping with Hanako? Yeah, shopping tour! Correct. You were a great help to me the other day. I think I can handle that. Hanako, what do you think? If you wouldn't mind. Oh, look, she smiled. Oh, it's so cute. Of course not. I'm still not familiar with all the stores in the area, so it sounds like a good idea. Oh, okay. Now that we have arranged, shall we have some tea? It's now that I realize our tea has been sitting idly by all this time, getting no hotter. It's my fault! Let me pour that for you! Yuko reaches out with shaking hands, but I intercept her. She looks in no state to be handling hot liquids. It's alright, I've got it. Since you've already made the tea and sandwiches, you fulfilled your waitress duties, right? Duties, right? I guess. Yuko relaxes a little, but still watches eagerly as I share out the assortment. Oh, the fireworks! I was startled for a second there, for more than seconds. As I'm about to bite into the sandwich, a loud rumble can be heard along with the flash of light from outside. Ah, I take the show has started. Only now, looking outside, I realize that dusk has come and gone, leaving us in the peak of twilight. Sparking tracers arc upwards, ready to explode in the floral shapes of fireworks. Let's go watch! Sorry, Lily! Please, don't miss the show on my account. From what I've heard, this isn't a bad location to watch them from. Ooh, we can see a picture! This is one of the new images I haven't seen, and I couldn't even remember this. Oh, the music. By the way, I fiddled a little bit around with the volume again, and I hope the music is not too quiet. I'm really hoping that the music is not too quiet. But let's listen to the music just for a few seconds. Okay, I think that's enough. It's nice music, I really like it. With the exception of Lily, we rush to the window of the small tea house to watch the show. The strobe of colored lights plays across Hanako and Yuko's smiling faces, and for a second I forget to look out the window. In this totally new world, there are a few things that don't change. I think that's why the school makes such a fuss over this festival. It's a chance to show the similarities between everyone. The show is over all too quickly. Fireworks are expensive, even for the most well-funded schools. Before we return to our tea and sandwiches, Hanako turns to me. Thanks for today. And tomorrow? That's okay. I don't think that I could have faced those crowds either. On days like this, it's more relaxing to spend some time away from everyone, don't you think? Yeah. Anyway, we've been delaying this tea for far too long now. Let's get back. Sure. We return to the booth and our light metal. Our light meal, not metal. That sounded impressive. Bigger than last year at least. Yeah, it was great. I've never seen them put on such a show. It gets better every year. I'm afraid, however, that during that time the tea has gone cold. Oh no! Let me make some more. This is my fault. Calm down, Yuko. It's nobody's fault. I take a sip from my cup just to prove the point. This tea isn't too bad cold. Anyway, it's like an iced tea. Really? Yes, really. If you add a bit of sugar, it's kinda nice. Are you sure? I'm positive. Now why don't you sit down and we'll finish this together. Oh, okay. Yuko doesn't seem convinced, but sits down regardless. She carefully measures out about 5 teaspoons of sugar and adds them to her tea. I said a bit of sugar. I know, but I like my tea sweet anyway. Curiously, I peer into her cup. As expected, hardly any of the sugar dissolves in the cold liquid. She stirs it twice before upturning the cup and drinking the contents, sugar, and all in a single mouthful. You're right! That's not bad at all! Good. I look back to Lily and Hanako, both of whom have finished their meal, as I witnessed Yuko's personality in action. Not wanting to hold anyone up, I use her tactic and finish the remainder of my tea in a single swill. Well then, it seems we are all finished. Should we head back now, or do we want seconds? Yuko's expression shows that this is quite clearly not a good idea. I think that it would be best if we got back soon. We do have to get back before curfew, after all. Oh, that is a good point. Whatever curfew means, please enlighten me. I'll meet you tomorrow, Yuko. I'll be looking forward to it, Lily. Goodbye, everyone. We make our way out of the small tea house and into the dark of the night. Lily and Hanako once again take point, but under the cover of darkness, Hanako seems slightly less stressed than she did on the trip here. We move against the occasional group of people emptying the school grounds, but Hanako seems to lead us along a few minor roads, avoiding the bulk of the crowd. Outside the dorms, the school seems strangely quiet when compared to the noise of the day. Well then, thank you both for today. I think I learned a lot. You are most welcome, but I'm afraid that I really must be going. Today's been a long day. It's right, Lily spent all of today on her feet, and I can imagine that walking outside of the school would be pretty tiring for her. I feel a pang of guilt as I remember that I was probably the only one in the school that got up around 10 this morning. Sure thing. Well, I'll see you both tomorrow. Good night. Good night, Hitho. Night. The girls return to their dorm, and I to mine. Actually, now that I consider it, today tired me out as well. And again, I'm really sorry if the audio of the game is too quiet. Maybe I should have checked it earlier. I'm sorry. I'm really, really bad and stuff like this. Let's see. Which one did we got? And thus, we reached Act 2 and the end of Chapter 1. I really hope you enjoyed this episode. Leave a like if you did. And I will hopefully see you in the next one. Stay tuned.